So I've been racking my brain this week to try and figure out what is it?
What is it, man?
The VO community is far and away the most supportive, collaborative, non-competitive community I've ever been a part of, and second isn't even close. That part's clear to me. What's not clear to me is why? Why are voice actors such supportive and collaborative and kind and amazing people? This community is unlike any other in that an outsider or a newbie might assume that, we're all competitors. We're all competing for the same gigs and therefore we're all at each other's throats. The actual case is just the opposite is true. And that's so weird and wonderful and cool and awesome. But why? I've been a part of other communities in business, on stage, on camera, and heck, even if you go back years in church, and this voiceover community is made up of the kindest, most amazing people I've ever seen. I asked this very question on social media this week. What do you think it is? Does voiceover attract better people, or does it just have a way of bringing out the best in us? We're going to dig into this question today as answered by you. I think there are a lot of things that make this community so unique and amazing. And the first thing I'll mention is, this old joke about us voice actors being stuck in our tiny little padded cells talking to ourselves, right? What we do as voice actors is at best isolating, and at worst downright lonely. So when we get together, my God, voice actors are like dogs that have been left at home all day, and now the owner's home, and oh my God, we're just so happy to see them, right? And maybe part of that is even our closest loved ones, right? Our spouses, our kids, our partners, whoever it might be, even they don't know what we go through on a day-to-day basis, right? They don't know what it's like to sail dozens of auditions into the ether and not hear back. They don't know what it's like to spend half a day trying to figure out the source of a hum in your audio. They don't know what it's like to redo 8 chapters of an audiobook because your interface was slowly dying. They don't get it because they don't do it every day. They're not supposed to get it. I told you I asked us all in the community on social media this week what this was all about. Troy Holden said this: "We build and crave good relationships with like-minded people. We see each other as coworkers in some ways because we're just a voice and a file for a client to choose from, and we're not doing water cooler politics to get noticed or sniff someone's ego. I'm just humbled to be in the sandbox and happy to share my shovel and bucket." Troy brings up a good point. No water cooler politics, no infighting. There's no hierarchical structure to us voice actors. We're all essentially peers on a spectrum, which means we're all in this together. Bob Johnson says this: "I think most of us grew up in hierarchical corporations or institutions where you were taught to climb the proverbial corporate ladder towards success. This created inherent competition, which management supports, but also brought out levels of other human emotions, not all being good. I look at the VO community not so much as a hierarchical community per se, but one where people with like interests, differing motivations, and skill levels all coming together." Engel Coulter says this: "I can tell you from a military mindset that I love the VO community because there is no ranking system that people are chasing. I never chased my stripes. Sure, I wanted to advance, but my driving force to get there was chasing the challenges that would bring both professional and personal growth. VO is a wide open field to gain potential success. All that leaves us to work hard, realize what we put in is what we will get in return eventually, and the success of others is the motivation." Back to Bob Johnson for a minute. He says, it's kind of like fishing. We all meet at the pond. Some bring beer, some bring food, and a few bring some music, and we all try to catch some fish. Some people catch some fish. Others catch more and bigger fish, and some people don't catch anything. We eat, we drink, and we all come back again to do it all over again together. We trade bait and use different lures, all in the quest to help others catch fish. So let's all go out and catch some fish today. I love that analogy. We're all just sitting on the dock fishing, right? Some people are more successful. They're helping the folks that are less successful, but at the end of the day, we're all just trying to catch some fish. What Bob didn't mention in that paragraph, and I think it's important, is that there are more than enough fish for all of us to eat well. J. Michael Collins agrees. He said, historically, those who have been around VO and plied the craft seriously have discovered that ours is an abundant business where there's enough work to go around and we don't have to jealously guard our jobs and our best practices. It's one reason I'm being so vocal about the overreaction to AI. There have been some cracks in the seams of the community lately, and I think the atmosphere of panic has a lot to do with that. When we are faced with very little evidence that anything has shifted, the abundant dynamic that has always existed in our business. This too shall pass, and this industry and its beautiful souls will remain ever the warm and welcoming place I have come to treasure. Tom Antonellis from Los Angeles had this to say. One thing I know is that no one I know in the profession got where they got without assistance. I think our community is good at not forgetting that. Perhaps it's somewhat insular, a niche within the acting world not all can easily break into. Once in, you're grateful you persisted and grateful for those who helped. That gratitude, I believe, keeps the lion's share of the community humble, and humility breeds a welcoming community. I absolutely agree with that, Tom. There are 1,000 people that have helped me with my career, and hopefully there will be 1,000 more if I live long enough. And I believe that if you accept help from people when you're new or newer, maybe even later on, that you have an obligation to turn around and help the next person that may be coming along behind you. One of my favorite people, Jen Henry, has another take. Having spent a minute or two in event spaces, groups, and sessions, I believe that it has to do with a sense of VO being the island of misfit toys. While it certainly doesn't pertain to all, for many, perhaps most, finding this community of beautiful weirdos is akin to finding a home and learning you're not the square peg you believed yourself to be. You're just trying to shove yourself into triangle holes your whole life. That's empowering. I agree with you, Jen, and I'm a misfit toy myself, and I've heard so many voice actors say this. This is where I found my tribe. These are my people. We have so many genres and different kinds of work, and those among us that are audiobook narrators have 10 or 100 times that, right? No matter what your passions are or what you're into, there is a tribe in this business for you. You're into children's e-learning. Yes. Medical narration. Sure. Immortal pirate romance. Absolutely. And finally, Ariel Williams had this to say. She says, I was a copywriter before voice acting, but still freelance. And I found myself in an overwhelmingly supportive and positive community. Mayhaps, I love that phrase, mayhaps a pinch of what you're touching on has to do with the shared understanding of the unique struggles of freelancing. VO freelancing is its own beast, and I think that's definitely understood. Also, humans love connection, and we voice actors are particularly human. I think that's a great way to wrap up. For more information on the VO Freedom Master Plan or to get my 7 steps to developing a career in voiceover, make sure you click those links in the description below. If this video helped you, if you think it helps to bring us together and to build community, if you think other voice actors will get some value out of it, please give us a like and a subscribe. If you're listening to us on the audio podcast, we'd love you to follow the show. And that way you'll be the first to know when we publish a new episode every week. Thanks so much for being a part of the community. Thanks so much for being a part of the conversation. And we will see you back here again next week.